everyone. Welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Cody, and I will be your host for the next hour. We are the last stream of the last day of holiday week. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I was catching some of the other earlier streams today. Val's stream and Chris's stream were just super, super fun. We are not quite done yet, though. So with me today, we are actually going to be redrawing old artwork. I don't know if you guys have ever done that before. I actually haven't done it in a very long time. I don't know if I've actually even ever really done it. So we are actually going to be redrawing one of my old artwork pieces from 2012. A year after I graduated high school. So it was very shortly, like kind of after I started doing kind of like leaning towards the kidlit art style. So it's very early on in my art style development. So you guys will get to see what that looked like. And also right behind me, I should mention here on my TV behind me, my little fireplace animation is going to be going live on the Adobe Live YouTube channel in just a couple of hours, actually. I think it will be 5 p.m. CT, so that will just be in 2 hours. So you guys can watch that as well. And then tomorrow we're actually going to be hosting live all of everyone's holiday fireplace scenes, animation scenes all day long. So if you guys want to come back to our Behance or our YouTube, you guys will be able to watch that, kind of have it on in your background if you're decorating or anything like that. So yeah, super exciting. Hey, everyone. Wanted to say hi to everyone in chat. Robert, Jeffrey, Wade, Umacorn. Good to see you guys. Anna, Gareth. Oh, so many people. Hello, Becca, Oliver. Hi, everyone. Okay, so let's hop on over to Adobe Express first before we pop into Photoshop. I wanted to show you guys that this is going to be my giveaway for today. I made a handful of different social media Adobe Express templates that are holiday themed. This one is like a little party invite. I also have a YouTube thumbnail. And of course, all of these can be rethemed if you guys don't need it necessarily for holiday things. But if you want to use this template for whatever your projects are, feel free. We have like a sale for Instagram story, and then we have like a little quote post. So yeah, feel free to download that. I'll have Wade has my link in the chat. Thank you so much, Wade. Okay. Oh, also at the end of this stream, if I have time, I am going to show you guys just a really easy way of throwing like your old artwork and your new artwork into a carousel post for Instagram to show everyone kind of like your progress and your art style. But before we get into that, I will just hop on over to Photoshop so we can see what my old artwork looks like. So I didn't have too much winter themed artwork back then. So I went through my DeviantArt. That's a throwback, right? DeviantArt, codibear.deviantart.com. It says it right there on the bottom. So I see, like, on one hand, it's funny to look at old artwork because, like, I see the budding stage of my style, but at the same time, I also see such huge differences in the shapes that I use now compared to back then. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to turn out. I see things, like some things are glaring to me right away that I would definitely do different. And some things I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of similar to my style now. But so I'm curious to know how the end product is going to look. But I really would love if you guys, did this along with me at any point, if you guys are interested in, finding some old artwork and redrawing it in your style now. It's always fun to go back really far, like 2012. That's, over 10 years ago. I wanted to also bring up, I have the page of my DeviantArt. It's so funny if we scroll down onto my DeviantArt. So this is the description that I wrote on my DeviantArt page about this artwork piece when I posted it in 2012. I said, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I've been kind of going back and forth between having line art and not having line art in my pictures. I haven't been able to decide what I like better. I think I've found the coloring style I prefer in this picture though, flat colors and no line art. So that's funny for me to read this far in the future because I did in fact go that direction, even more so than this picture. I would say that this isn't even as flat of colors that I use now. Like this one even still has shading and lighting and everything and atmosphere. Whereas now I very, very rarely do lighting and things like that. So, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get started on sketching this. And we're just kind of analyze the differences and my style then compared to now. We're just going to hang out and have a really chill stream. Feel free to work on anything that you guys want to work on while we hang out together. Cute. Yeah, it's so funny. Let's see. I would have been 19 when I posted that. Yeah, 19. Okay, so one of the glaring things that I notice about my style then compared to now is that with my style now, I like to do short torsos. So I do, let's see, oops, let me make this layer above my, there we go. So compared to like this piece here, I'm noticing that the torso is really long. It's actually about the same length. It's like a really long torso and short legs. Sorry about that, guys. Zoom is giving us some difficult issues today. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but if it does, we might be able to fix it again. But I think we're back and we're working so far. Okay, back to what I was saying about the artwork. So yeah, so the torso is a lot longer than what I would draw nowadays. So typically I actually start with the torso when I'm doing anatomy. So let's just go ahead and start there. I would actually more likely draw like a little trapezoid shape. That's kind of the direction that I go with my torsos. And then also, of course, the legs are going to get pulled up quite a bit there. So I'm kind of leaning in the same direction as I did with my legs back then, but I probably would make them a little bit wider. And I would also bring the bottom of the pants up, probably like that. So let's go ahead and make the legs pant legs a little bit wider, the middle of the pants, and then we're just gonna bring his leg up like this. Wade says, I like that Moose's flannel, though. Definitely keeping the flannel. I definitely still draw flannels. Okay. And then also a interesting difference that I've noticed, too, is the way that I drew the hooves. When I draw hooves nowadays, I don't typically actually draw in the little notch in the hoof like this. I would typically just draw a rectangle shape and then maybe draw in the hoof with a darker color like this. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm also going to make his little feet a little bit wider as well. We're gonna go, just in general, I would say that my shapes are a lot more chunky, if that's a word. They're a lot just more, well, for one, they're more flat too. Back here in 2012, I hadn't learned my forced flat perspective as of yet. As you can tell, especially with this tree stump, it has just like normal perspective. So yeah, definitely going to see a lot of differences there as well. Just with the shape language. Okay. And let's see. So we have his shoulder sitting here. Let's bring his arm out like this. And again, a more wide arm. I don't know if I missed it in the chat, but has anyone in chat ever redrawn their artwork before? It's a pretty fun exercise, just to kind of like, because, you know, like art style isn't something that changes overnight, and it's not something that you would ever really actively notice it happening. And it even really while you're doing it, it doesn't feel like you're making progress necessarily, until you actually look back at your older work and you see, wow, I actually have done a lot, you know. Let's actually lasso this and move it over a little bit. Here we go. So you can actually kind of already see a difference in my shapes here. So let's draw in his little pockets. And back then too, I also really used to like to draw in stitching. As you can see here, like individual stitching on like all of the clothing I drew individual stitching like that. Nowadays, I still draw stitching, but I do it in one single line. So yeah, so we're going to just, we're going to draw in his little stitching lines, but we are going to do it like this. Just one single little line. And I think I could also give little cuffs to his pants, which is something that I didn't do back then, but I do a lot now. Give little cuffs like this. Again, going with those chunky shapes. Always going for the thick cuff rather than the thin cuff. Peter says, yes, I'm constantly redrawing. Oh my gosh, yes. That's awesome. Wade says, I have a couple of times just because I liked a character or wanted to use an idea. Oh, just like reusing old artwork. That's a really good idea too. Just like redrawing it with your current skill level. Okay. So I've noticed also just like this, the way that I drew this shirt, I was really struggling. You can tell at this point, I was really struggling with clothing folds. At some point, I remember seeing a post online that talked about how this artist, I forget who it was, but they just decided that clothing folds were too difficult for them, and they just started omitting them from their artwork. And I was like, you can do that? So that was when I started just drawing straight clothes, like straight as in straight lines, you know, like no clothing folds really at all, except, you know, every once in a while I'll throw in like a little curve shape for like one of the more the stronger folds, let's say, or like I'll draw in like a little line here and there to indicate a fold, but I'm not actually drawing clothing folds. So as you can see, this shirt just looks like a really sad muffin top, you know, just like it's really sagging down there. That was the first thing that I noticed when I looked at this piece. So let's not draw a sagging muffin top. I do still, in fact, draw like a little bit of the muffin top shape for the shirts that are kind of tucked in. But the difference with the shapes, I would say, is that I make sure that the bottom line is kind of pushing upwards like this, whereas this shape is more so pushing downwards. It feels like gravity is really pulling it down, because the weight is more so lower than the center of the fold, if that makes sense. Whereas the weight in my now muffin tops are a lot lighter and fluffier. So we can kind of draw in that shape here. Kind of pull it. It almost looks like little cheeks, like a little, like this could be like a little frog face here. Like they're like little frog cheeks. So let's also, whoops, I'm gonna rotate my canvas too much. Let's also pull, let's darken this shape here. Again. Why are you doing this to us? Oh no. I'm so sorry about the tech issues, you guys. Just so strange, you know, technology things. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna draw in these little shapes here. Oh, and I was gonna say, you can see in the shirt here, you can see like the different, I was trying so desperately to do clothing folds and to make this like look very 3D and stuff. And this was also a point in time where I was really struggling with drawing collars on shirts too. Like this shape, this like, what is this? What is this shape? It's so strange. It's like, it looks like it's like all sucked in on his neck there. So eventually, once again, as you'll see, oh no. Oh no. Okay, I think we have it sorted out now. I think. Hopefully it stays. Hopefully it stays. I think we fixed it. Okay. I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. Oh, I was talking about collars. Yes, this collar, this monstrosity of a collar. I also definitely have minimized my collar. Here's what my collars look like now. It's literally two triangles. That's what my collars are now. And also, I would say that the buttons, again, going back to the very, I try to simplify my shapes, and I also go for the more chunky shapes. I would definitely say, probably if I were to redraw this, which I am, I would only do like 3 buttons, 3 big buttons, like very comically big, kind of like something you'd see at Build-A-Bear or something like that, you know, just like really big buttons. Really simplify the shape. I'm also feeling like his shirt is a little bit too saggy still. I'm gonna pull that up. Okay. And the head shape. Now, the head shape's a little odd because I don't actually draw moosei very often. So I'm just gonna, let's see, I'm gonna try to kind of figure out, let's see, I guess that's a good shape. Yeah, okay. When in doubt, I kind of just like do this little like candy corn style shape, and that's kind of where I end up. And then we'll connect these shapes here and kind of give him some shoulders. I'll just kind of shift stuff around a little bit here. Whoops. There we go. Becca said, it's awesome that you've refined your style enough to be able to break it down like this. You know, it's funny too, because when I was looking for artwork to do this stream for, I was like, I saw this one and I was like, well, that would be a good one, but has my style changed enough since I did this? I was like, well, it has been over 10 years, but there's something about this work that still looks similar to my newest work. But then once I started looking at it and studying it a little bit more, I realized that it probably would end up different. And I would say, I mean, even already, it looks a lot different than the original. So yeah, and it's so fascinating even for me to see like how much my style has changed, because like I said, I didn't plan this or anything. I didn't know how this was gonna go today, so just kind of like trying to figure it out as we go here. I don't know how I'm gonna place his eyes. In the other one, I have him like kind of doing a little up U eye shape, which I don't do too often. I think probably nowadays I might just draw one eye if it was this shape. And then we'll give him a little smiley. And I also would probably give him a little cheek right there. And then we have his ear. So therefore that means his face is a little tilted a little bit farther that direction. Since we don't have both eyes. Like I could do both eyes and it could work. Maybe. Like that could work, but I think I might go with just the one eye. And then we have his little ears. They have kind of like little deer ears. Those are pretty much the same, I would say. And then the antlers. That's an interesting take too, because I don't draw antlered animals very often. So I guess I'm gonna do this on a separate layer just so I don't mess everything up. Deer ears, can't say that 10 times fast. Deer ears, deer ears, deer ears. Okay, so let's see. It'd probably be kind of similar to this shape. Like I'd probably do more of like a rounded teardrop shape. Like let's see. I'm probably gonna go like something like that. Kind of more of the roundy shapes. Roundy, chunky. Feels a little bit more friendly, a little bit more Bowinkle. I think I might just shift this up like this. Hey, that was 3. I cheated. Sorry. And then maybe we'll just add in some little prongs here. Like that. It definitely looks a lot friendlier, I would say. And then the hat, that's an interesting thing because so this hat really doesn't make sense if you think about it, because like that would mean that So if his antlers are way up here, this is what happens when you don't draw through. So when you draw through, that would mean that his head is like a potato. his, his head is like a potato. Oh, it's literally a potato. Okay, yeah, so we're not going with potato head this time around. I think I'm just gonna do a mini hat. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna go like this. I'm going to do a little hat. I'm gonna do a little hunter hat like this. And we are just going to have his little brim come out. Mooster potato. Oh man. There we go. He's got a little mini hat, you guys. Okay. And of course, I left the most difficult part for last to draw his bent arm. Okay. So I am going to throw in his shoulder. Whenever I do anatomy, I always throw in like the shoulder socket right here. I think we might be having technical difficulties again. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh man, I am so sorry about the tech issues today, guys. That's just not fun. I'm just not even gonna promise that it doesn't happen again. Hopefully it doesn't, but I guess we'll see. But like I was saying before, I always draw in when I'm doing anatomy, a little posing, I always draw in where the arm is gonna go. It just kind of helps me visualize where the shoulder socket would be. So let's see. You know, like thinking about this pose here in the old piece, it's not really something that I think that I would really draw nowadays. And it kind of looks a little bit awkward. I don't know if I would even really do something like this. Let's see. So you're holding an axe. Yeah, I mean the pose is correct. I probably used some reference, but I think that it would kind of be a little bit awkward. I think that what I might do instead of having him slinging it over his shoulder, I think I might just draw it in one of his hands. Like this is probably how I would most likely draw something like this nowadays. So we have his little arm here, just off to his side. I don't know for sure if I'm gonna like this or not, because it might take away from the storytelling aspect of the pose. So I guess we'll see. But if I don't like this, then we can try the other pose. Wait, says as long as you keep coming back, we're all good. Well, except when my stream is over, then I won't be able to come back. Okay. Yeah, so let's draw in his little hoof and his little shirt cuff. We're just gonna draw in some rectangles. When I draw clothes nowadays, if the clothing has any kind of volume, I'll usually, like I did just then, I drew the arm and then I drew the shirt is actually the same line as the arm. And then I just drew a little bit outside of that original line to create the volume for the shirt sleeve cuff. Same with the pant cuffs. The pant cuffs were all one line, and then I just added a little bit of volume outside of those lines to create the cuff. So here are his little arms, his little armies. And I'd probably just go ahead and draw in him like holding an axe. Of course, drawing an anthro animal with hooves holding something is always going to be a little bit awkward, but we have to have like some suspension of disbelief. Just kind of drawing in a little axe. This looks a little bit more menacing, actually. It kind of actually changes it changes the storytelling a little bit here with him holding the axe like this. So maybe this won't work. Let's just delete that layer. Okay. I'm gonna condense these layers down here. And let's try that again. I think I will, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and lasso this arm away. Ooh. Move that over there. Just in case we need it later. And I am going to go ahead and draw in his arm once more. Let's push his shoulder out a little bit. Gonna give him a little bit of a drop shoulder here. And I also have to make sure that his arm doesn't end up being too long while it's in its bent state. Oh my gosh, are we having tech issues again? Oh no. Oh no. Hi, welcome back to Adobe Live. Thank you all so much for joining me today. We're drawing a moose, if you didn't know. I'm so sorry for the tech issues, guys. We really have no idea why Zoom is acting this way right now. This has never happened before, so thank you so much for bearing with us as we try to figure this out. Okay, I'm just drawing this little Gumby of an appendage here. I need to lasso this. It's feeling like really, really cramped. Oh, whoops. Okay. We're just going to redraw that completely. Okay, that's better. No, it's not. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. You know what I'm gonna do? I think... Oh, you know what? I just realized I forgot to draw his suspenders here. That is something that I have a tendency to forget to draw in my pieces, is like extra things. Like, for instance, when I'm drawing animals that have tails, I will forget to draw the tail 90% of the time, and then I won't notice until after I've posted it on Instagram. There we go. His little spenders. Okay. This arm here is giving me grief just as much as Zoom is. Oliver says, these things happen sometimes. Tech is like that. It really is, you know? Wade says, axe resting on the shoulder, hand out in front and not on the shoulder, kind of like a baseball bat when not in batting stance. Best example I can think of. I want to try to get it as close to the original as possible. Just because it kind of like gives the best illusion of, you know, like what's changed. I'm just bad at drawing like bent arm poses. It usually takes me so long to figure these kinds of things out. Which is why a lot of the time I wouldn't draw this nowadays. And maybe that's a good testament as to why, you know, maybe we should just go ahead and go with the whoops. Whoa. Zoom, what are you doing? My goodness. Zoom is out to get me today. Maybe that would be a good testament as to why we should just go with the straight arm instead. Because I have realized that I don't draw, you know, these kinds of poses very well. And, you know, maybe I should just be okay with that. Let's go ahead and deselect. Whoops. And we will... Oops. What layer is this on? Oh, deselect. There we go. I was selecting one pixel, I guess, somewhere. Okay. You know what I think I might do? How do we want the axe? Maybe we could strap the axe on his back? Is that less menacing than him having it just in his hand? Like he's about to use it? Like maybe he's got like a little... Maybe he's got like a little pack or something, you know? You clearly did it 10 years ago. Yeah, and it probably took me a very long time to do it. And I also wasn't live streaming while I was doing it either. Makes a big difference. Like a back strap? Yes, back is much better. Okay, let's go with back. That I can do. Let's do that. I think that's more accurate to what my artwork would be now. Strapped to his back like a battle axe. Maybe we should just make it into a battle axe. That's there we go. And the end of it, just like it's really long. It just like comes down way down here, and then he's just like got a big old leather strap coming across here. There we go. As long as it doesn't cut off his ears. Yes, of course. We can't have that. Maybe he's got like a slit in his ear from the battle axe. Oh, we're coming up with a backstory now. Okay. Let's see. Got a little, whoops, axe shape. Now that's a new narrative. There you go. Exactly. Okay. Put a little slit in there. And whoops. Oh my goodness, guys, we only have 20 minutes left. All these tech issues have really put a hamper on our progress here. I did want to, so I don't normally draw full scenes very often anymore, like full environment scenes, but I did want to add in some of the elements of the scene. Like the little stump here, for instance, especially because my perspective and the way that I draw the shapes, like I was saying earlier, the shapes are going to be a lot different and a lot more simplified. So if I were to draw this stump now, I definitely wouldn't draw it in perspective like this. I would definitely use my techniques of forced flat perspective and do this as this shape as the top of the stump here. And I probably would also just simplify the shape of the stump in general. Like we'll probably do something like this. Like oops. And then we'll probably have like the little roots coming out like that. I'm gonna rotate a little bit here. Flat round, yes. Yes, CJ. According to my file of very technical perspective terms, yes, that is the term that I used in that file. And then I'm also going to probably draw the tree rings, something like this, and then we will do the little plants. Like that. And Deborah, I learned a lot watching and listening to your process. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I might actually come in here and draw in just like a little slit in the wood like that. And then I might also just like come in and draw some little like bark lines. And then we also can just like add in some little hash marks just to kind of give it a little bit of texture. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. And then maybe let's see. We got like 10 minutes left. This has been fun. Oh, I'm so glad, you guys. Thank you so much. And then maybe I might I do still really like drawing these kind of just like purely rectangular trees like this. I think that looks really cool. I think that also It kind of, especially in this scene, because it's like a full environment scene, it really gives the idea that these trees are very tall because you can't see any kind of branches whatsoever on them. Because if you could start seeing the branches like really low, like within frame like this, you would say you get an idea of how tall a tree is in your mind. But without seeing any kind of branches this low, it just like makes your mind think that these trees are really, really tall, which I like. I like the idea that it's kind of like encasing you in the scene. So I think I might just kind of draw some little trees. Of course, we don't have like any kind of frame or anything for this scene, but just to give an idea of what, you know, it might look like if I were to color this scene. And I'd probably do them in like different widths. I might even actually just hold shift so I can just make perfectly straight lines here. The focus is real, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna draw those trees. Oops. I accidentally switched my colors. There you go. Just kind of like trying to recreate this the scene, the placement of the tree. It's not exact, but you know, you get the idea. Something like that. And then I might actually also add in some little grasses here and there, depending on, you know, of course, what type of scene I'm going for. But I could also, let's see, like on a separate layer, if we wanted to make this all wintry, we could also add in some snow to the scene here, maybe like some little snowbanks or something. And I might maybe, like, if I wanted to add some snow to this, the little stump, I could also just like add in some, maybe just like some little snow blobs, snow blobby shapes, you know? Something like that. I love it when I'm drawing trees, if I'm drawing snow underneath them, to kind of like draw the snow up the branch, not the branches, the trunk of the tree. It kind of, because snow kind of does that when it's coming up around trees. It kind of like flurries up the tree trunk a little bit. So if we just like erase the tree trunk here, kind of like have some snow. Little, maybe some little snow blobs. And then maybe just like some little branches here and there, maybe some little branches kind of sticking out of the snow here and there. Like on one hand, my style is like less detailed than it previously was, but on the other hand, sometimes I think that I've learned better how to add detail in a more simplistic way. And I think that that is probably probably the moral of this stream is like the lesson that I've learned that I could say that I've learned over the course of the last 10 years of doing artwork. That's probably like the biggest change in my style and just like my skill. Is just like how to implement detail and shape in a much more simplistic way. Sue says, I only came for logo design. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, sometimes, you know, like the streams just roll into each other and you're just like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. And then you just end up staying all day long. Okay, then we're just adding, you know, these last little details. If we had time, I would go into coloring, but of course we do not. But I think that this is a really cool side by side to just like see the difference, you know? Here, let me delete all of my little note lines so we can actually see the older piece. Here we go. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Oh no. Ah, let's condense these layers down here. There we go. Kind of makes me want to finish this piece now. And maybe even do just like full environment to kind of just like see how different it would be. Although I do kind of want to turn it into a snow scene just because it's winter. But yeah, it's super cool. Okay, so really quick, actually, I only have a couple minutes, but I wanted to show you guys on Adobe Express. Super easy. All you would have to do to make a carousel post is, you know, upload your photo that you wanted to, let's see, downloads, here we go, that you wanted to show for your old artwork. I might not have time to do this completely. And then you just add text, you know, add your text, and you can just say what year, you know, you did the piece originally. And I might even do this in white. And there's something going on with my menus for Express today. It's being all weird. I'm not sure why everything's all grayed out and transparent like this. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this glitch, but I can't even actually see any of my font names right now. So we're just gonna have to go with something super sans serif-y right now because I can't actually see what's going on. But all we'd have to do is we just, you know, throw in the year right there. And then if you wanted to, you can also go ahead and add a new page. And then you could add in your new piece. Of course, I didn't actually save it as a PNG, but if you saved it from Photoshop, upload it to Adobe Express, and then you would be able to have both of those pages. Oh my gosh, it's being so weird. The pages are like all transparent. It's so strange. Normally it doesn't look like this. There's like a weird UI bug today. But yeah, so we would have both of these pages and you would be able to upload both of those pages individually as a carousel post to Instagram. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget that today after my stream, an hour after my stream, my Christmas fireplace scene is going to be uploaded to the Adobe Live YouTube channel. And then also all day long tomorrow, we are going to be doing a live stream of all of those holiday fireplace scenes as well. And we are going to be actually live streaming it. So the chat is going to be open if you guys want to come in and hang out throughout the day, just, you know, chat, hang out, tell us what you guys are doing for holiday week and stuff like that. So Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a lovely evening. Bye.